There's no denying that Hayley Mills, the blonde, plucky, ebullient British actress, is a legend. Ever since she catapulted to stardom by playing identical twins in Disney's 1961 blockbuster The Parent Trap, Mills has been a household name. But what's she been up to in the years since then? For the 60th anniversary of Pollyanna, Hayley Mills took a nostalgic journey through her storied Disney career with D23. As a child, Mills acted in 6 Disney movies, including Pollyanna, the story of a radically optimistic orphan girl who lives with a wealthy aunt in a small town. Among her happy memories from the Pollyanna set, the actress recalled spotting some delicious-looking American-style donuts, a novelty for an English girl, out of the corner of her eye while trying to do a scene.
And as the morning wore on, I got more and more hungry.
Mills also reminisced about her experience filming The Parent Trap, another Disney movie that made her famous, sharing that she and her double used to go out to eat in costume and, quote, pretend to be real twins. Reminiscing about her impressive beginnings with Disney, Mills said, "It represents formative years of my life and it's deeply embedded in my heart. I was so fortunate to have that start with this wonderful man and his wonderful studio." She said that Pollyanna was a wonderful start to her career.
How great to start my career with a film like that, with actors like that.
The year 1966 was a scandalous one for Mills. She debuted her first nude scene in the comedy The Family Way. However, that was nothing compared to the fact that 19-year-old Mills took up with Roy Bolting, the film's 52-year-old director. The affair made jaws drop, not only because of the couple's 33-year age difference, but also because Bolting was married with children. Mills, however, didn't see their age difference as an issue at the time. She later told A&E, "The fact that he was considerably older was probably part of the attraction, but not consciously. And having spent an awful lot of time with people much older than myself, it didn't seem particularly odd or peculiar to me." Despite all the controversy, Mills and Bolting were married from 1971 to 1977. Their son, Crispian, was born in 1973. After meeting actor Lee Lawson, Mills divorced Bolting and had a son, Jason, with Lawson before they split in 1984. A few years later, Mills met Indian-American actor Ferdos Bumji, who is 20 years her junior. The two wed in 1997, and over 2 decades later, the marriage is still going strong. Mills first dipped a toe in the thriller genre as a murder-witnessing child in Tiger Bay. In 1964, she starred in The Chalk Garden, playing a disturbed teenager navigating a relationship with her even more disturbed governess. By 1968, she was, quote, ready to leave her Disney years behind and present a new, sensuous image on screen, as her A&E biography put it. That year, she starred in Twisted Nerve, an early psychosexual thriller. She played a young woman who is stalked by a homicidal maniac. The New York Times called the film, quote, an embarrassing picture and a sour-tasting mess, yet it's hard to look away from the movie's campy but compelling trailer. In 1975, she starred in Deadly Strangers, which tells the story of a beautiful, disturbed girl who becomes involved, in all innocence, with 2 disturbed, perverted young men who intend to do her harm. Even though Mills was almost universally adored by the 1970s, stardom was not easy for her, particularly as she began to age out of the little girlish pluckiness of her early teens. In the wake of her success in The Parent Trap, she became besieged by all the normal doubts of adolescence, but the pressures of fame exacerbated them. She began to struggle with weight and body image issues, first in the form of overeating and then in the form of bulimia. She explained it in her official A&E biography, saying, "I adored food and I'm in front of the camera, but my face is like a balloon. So you start to throw up basically, and you just get more and more insecure about yourself and don't tell anybody. And, of course, I thought I was the only person in the world who had ever thought of it." Mills also spoke about her experience with bulimia in a 1997 interview with the Toronto Sun, explaining that the disorder had lasted all the way up to the birth of her first child. Since the 1960s, Mills has made regular appearances on television. In addition to several cameos, she famously starred in Good Morning Miss Bliss, which would later be integrated into the hit program Saved by the Bell. She also starred in the BAFTA-nominated TV series The Flame Trees of Thika, about World War I-era British settlers living in Kenya. In contemporary TV land, however, she's probably most well known for her role in the hit UK series Wild at Heart, not to be confused with the David Lynch film of the same name. Wild at Heart ran from 2006 to 2012. Like the Flame Trees of Thika before it, it concerned a British family living in Africa. This time, her TV family attempted to practice veterinary medicine on the grounds of a former game reserve. In 2011, Mills appeared on the TV show Loose Women. She spoke to the hosts about working with a cheetah, one of her favorite parts of the role.
Well, I love animals anyway, so I'm always terribly excited whenever we work with animals.
As the old saying goes, you can never have too much of a good thing. One would assume that adage goes double for twins, right? In 1986, Hayley Mills reprised her dual role as twins in The Parent Trap 2, a contemporary spin on the old identical twin prankster theme, with some plucky young triplets thrown into the mix. Parent Trap 3, the final installation in the series, aired in 1989. Neither offshoot was particularly memorable, and Mills herself stated that she had initially found it strange to be approached with the idea of an adult-centered reprise. However, the script eventually won her over and she agreed to do it. As she explained to Pat Sajak, "When I read the script and I saw that they'd really turned it into a rather clever story, it then became a fascinating thing to find out what's happened to these two girls over the years and to play twins again, which is great fun for an actress." In 2008, on her 62nd birthday, Hayley Mills made a shocking discovery. She had cancer in both breasts. She initially kept her diagnosis quiet, but opened up about the experience at length in an interview with Good Housekeeping in February 2018, saying, "It was an enormous shock. Suddenly, I looked out at the world as if I'd never seen it before. Everything felt clearer and sharper. And when you hear that diagnosis, you realize, now I'm going to find out what I'm actually made of." Mills underwent surgery and chemotherapy, but she was so knocked out by the side effects of the latter that she chose to supplement her infusions with organic and alternative medicines and regimens, which included a drastically new system of diet and exercise. She told the Daily Mirror, "I was more frightened of the chemo than of the cancer." Though Mills's deviation from strictly medically recommended courses of treatment was controversial, it was effective. After battling the disease for several years, she was finally told that she was officially in remission, a victory she credits to the combination of different approaches she used, as well as to the love and support of her family. Mills, who continues to get regular scans and checkups, remains cancer-free. In 2017, Jessica Lange and Susan Sarandon made headlines in Feud, a TV series about the famously contentious rivalry between legends Bette Davis and Joan Crawford. Before that, however, there was Legends, James Kirkwood's hit 1986 play about two aging stars competing with each other in a final-ish bid for stardom. Its 2015 Australian debut starred Hayley Mills and her sister Juliet. As Playbill described it, Legends took audiences, quote, into a world of gossip, rivalry, reminiscence, longing and scandal, as two famous but fading stars compete for the spotlight. All that, of course, was the polar opposite of the famously loving relationship between the Mills sisters, probably all the more reason the siblings had great fun with the role.
But we love working together, and this has just been another wonderful opportunity.
It had been a few years since she'd last appeared on our screens when Hayley Mills joined the cast of BBC's Pitching In. As Deadline reported in 2018, Mills was slated to headline the show alongside fellow legendary Brit Larry Lamb of Gavin and Stacey fame. Pitching In is set in a Welsh caravan park, in which 3 generations of the same family live and, naturally, struggle to get along with each other. Speaking to The Mirror in 2019, Mills admitted that she prefers being at home, but her passion for acting still burns brightly. Mills described Pitching In as the ideal compromise, saying, "I was shooting for 2 weeks in a most beautiful part of the world." The iconic actress has no plans to retire anytime soon either, noting simply, "For me, the need to work is constantly there." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.